Barbados, get up.
Good morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning Barbados, good morning to you. Good morning Barbados, good morning.
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Morning to you.
Good morning, Barbados, and welcome to today. Today is Tuesday, the 12th of August, 2025. I'm Pearson Bowen, and as I always say to all of you, thank you for waking up to keep us company. A very good morning to wherever you are. We know you're spread all over the globe, and we thank you for making the effort every day to be with us Monday to Friday from 6 in the morning until 8 o'clock for what is truly the best 2 hours of your day. So to those of you joining us on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, cbc.bb, to all of you, a very special good morning. One thing I ask, share the show, share the love, bring others along to be a part of our community of information, inspiration, and a whole lot of laughter as well. So we're looking forward to another excellent day today. As always, if you know of something or someone whose story you believe we have to tell us about it. We look forward to you sharing your tips with us via email. That email address is on your screen. It's morninbarbados@cbc.bb. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And to all of you, already we say thank you because you do so. And we're really appreciative of you working with us so that we can deliver for you exactly what you want. Pat Ben, good morning. Thank you for watching. Are you here, Pat, or are you still overseas? Because I ran into Mo Spice and she didn't tell me where you were, but she said that you will eat your heart out because she had to meet me. She got an opportunity to meet me. So, Pat, where are you? Where art thou, Pat? Very good morning to you indeed. Auntie Faye watching from the north of the island. Good morning to Auntie Faye. Have yourself a terrific day as well. She sends the best to everyone. So too does Kieran Olivier. Kieran, have a beautiful morning yourself as well. We wish you only the very best. Indeed, and thank you for waking up to keep us company. On our YouTube stream is Sandy Field Kelman. Sandy, good morning. A spirit-filled day to you as well. She's wishing Barbados a beautiful today. Back at you, Sandy. Bajan Rock as well. Good morning, Bajan Rock. He says good morning to the world. And so the world echoes your greeting to you, Bajan Rock. Have a lovely today. From the 718 to the 246 is Anthony Smith. Anthony, thank you. You're faithful to the cause and you're always there every morning. Thank you for waking up to keep us company regardless of the changing times. Have a lovely today. Audrey Harris, good morning to you as well. And I love doing this. I love acknowledging all of you. Thank you so much for acknowledging us as well every day, for sharing the show and coming by every day. Zavid Seals, good morning to you, Zavid. How do you do? Good morning indeed. Where are you watching from, Zavid? Talk to us back. Tell us where you're watching from, Zavid. We love to, in a big significant way, and acknowledge where you are as well. So, Zavid, thanks today. Now, today, Tuesday, as you know, on a Tuesday morning, we always have our conversations on CARICOM. Barbados was recently at the table. As you know, we bring our chair. If there's no chair, we will take our chair. And so recently, Barbados was at the Pan American Congress in Mexico. We'd get a report from Ambassador David Commichon as to why were they there? Why was Barbados there? And what are the takeaways? Plus, this morning we'll start to take another look at the big conversations as part of CARIFESTA 15, which you know starts in a matter of days, 10 days until the start of CARIFESTA on the 22nd of August till the end of the month. Also, research by the UWI has proven that there is a link between Barbados and Shelter Island. We want to take a real detailed look at that and how has the UWI worked with the University of Massachusetts to bring to fruition what they now know. I can't wait to hear what they've discovered indeed. Youth advocates at the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados are joining the call for us to really, as a society, take a look at childhood obesity. We'll meet a couple of those youth ambassadors as they too raise their voice, encouraging us in different ways to lend to the cause. And so we want to talk to them about that. Also, we'll be looking this morning at the symposium as part of the big conversations on CARICOM and the spirit and struggle. I just love the title of this documentary, Spirit and Struggle. How religion was at the center of a lot of who we are today. And so this is part of the season of emancipation. There's a documentary soon to be released. We want to get more about what that documentary reveals and unveils. And she has represented Barbados well in Toronto. We now call her the Queen of the Carnival there. This is a Bajan affair. And so we want to meet up with her as to why she proudly represents Barbados in the way she does and what it meant for her to wear the costume that depicted Barbados at that recently held Toronto Carnival. All of that and a whole lot more straight ahead. But let's get started this morning in our conversations on CARICOM. As always, we're joined by Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Comishong, and he's brought along beauty today. Indeed. Good morning to you, Ambassador.
Morning, morning, Pearson. Pleasure to be here.
Good to have you back as well. And with him is Dr. Marielle Barreau-Magnon. I got it right.
You got it right.
Thank you. Thank you. The husband will not forgive me if I got it wrong. Indeed. Well, welcome to Barbados, indeed.
Thank you.
And you're here part of the big conversations as part of CARIFESTA, right?
Yes, I am.
Good. So
She's the coordinator, both for the big conversations and for the symposium.
Wow.
The big conversations are the more populist discussions that you kind of take into the community. The symposium are those that the discussions that are more for university type academic setting.
We will delve into all of that. And thank you for setting that straight.
Yes.
We will delve further into that indeed. But we were in Mexico. Talk to me a little bit about what that meant and why were you there?
Yes, I know I have a duty to report. Last week, you didn't see me last week because Honorable Colin Jordan, our Minister of Labour, Social Security and the Third Sector, and myself, we represented Barbados in Mexico City at the Pan American Congress. This was the second Pan American Congress. That's a gathering that brings together progressive Congress people, parliamentarian, members of parliament from Canada in the north all the way down to Argentina in the south. Once again, we were the only Caribbean nation there. This is the second year now. I've complained to them about this, that Barbados should not be the only Caribbean nation representing the entire Caribbean. So hopefully that message sinks in. But the whole idea is to bring together these legislators to form a kind of network to support each other in a progressive agenda for our region, an agenda of democracy, peace, confronting the climate crisis, giving solidarity to each other. And so we are on our way. It's something that is being built. And the first Congress was in Colombia last year. This year is Mexico. Next year is Uruguay, Montevideo. And maybe, just maybe in 2027, it might be somewhere in the Caribbean. We'll see. We'll see. But yes, I think I was willing to sacrifice my pick of the crop, my Emancipation Day, my Kadooment Day. I was willing to sacrifice all of that because I thought that building this new institution is so important.
No, that was a big sacrifice, I must say, on the scale of everything indeed. But looking at the challenges that this region faces and that grouping faces, what were some of the key elements that were up for discussion?
Well, I mean, we looked at we looked at the common challenges all across the region. If the meeting ended with a declaration. And I could probably just quote the final paragraphs. And we came together, we agreed to forge solidarity that transcends borders to support all peoples fighting for sovereignty, dignity, and justice, creating bonds of mutual aid that strengthen our collective resistance to exploitation and oppression, and recognizing that our liberation is interconnected from the Gaza Strip to all corners of the American continent. We agree to unite to combat the politics of fear, hate, division, bigotry, exploitation, and exclusion in our hemisphere, refusing to be complacent amidst the rise of authoritarian forces that menace our democracies. We will collaborate in our respective legislatures to advance our own vision of hemispheric cooperation based on solidarity between peoples and sovereignty among nations. So that will give you an idea, all of the challenges. We know them only too well. And we discuss them, all of the challenges that we are facing, and that seek to divide us. There are forces out there that are spreading division and exclusion and stigmatizing people, and we are saying, no, this is not the Americas that we want. We are going to come together and fight for something different, Yeah.
The trade of people, I know that's a concern from international organizations as well. Our labor minister was there, social security minister was there as well. Let's talk a little bit about, was that a discussion
Of course,
point?
the whole migration crisis, right? That's that's more important for the Latin American, Central American countries, Mexico, than for us in the Caribbean. But yes, all of those issues, how we are how we are treating our Haitian brothers and sisters. The sanctions that we're imposing on countries like Cuba and Venezuela, making life very difficult for the peoples of those countries. So yes, it was a very general discussion, but the beauty of it is that, quite often we come together in Latin America and the Caribbean, but to have in that gathering, we have members of Parliament from Canada.
Yes.
Members of the Congress, the U.S. Congress. So these progressive Congress women, they call them the Squad. So they were all there at the conference. So it is really a consolidation of important political leaders that share a common vision of human solidarity and social democracy, workers' rights.
Yes.
Respecting the rights of migrants, creating a hemisphere of decency and cooperation, as opposed to what some other people would seek to want to impose upon us.
It's a global issue, and so to have those global leaders all there to be able to tackle what is a global issue or issues was important indeed. Did you get a sense that our North American attendees really appreciate the challenges that are faced by us from the South?
Well, they're facing their own challenges. After hearing a couple of these congresswomen speak about the domestic challenges they're facing, I said to a couple of them, you all need to make contact with and develop a relationship with our Caribbean community. Within our Caribbean community, we have prime ministers, we have ministers of foreign affairs, we have ambassadors. Maybe we could give you some solidarity and help you in your struggles. So yes, it has to be about mutual support. They can help us, of course. It's always good to have powerful voices in the U.S. Congress. There's so many issues of trade and immigration that we need that kind of advocacy in the halls of power in Washington. But we can help them too, because we have elements of governance that they, even though we may be much smaller, but we operate on the international scene at the level of the United Nations, the OAS, heads of government, ministers of foreign affairs, etc.
Dr. Mariel, I'm watching you as you're watching ambassadors speak as well. I see you nod from time to time, but I see an interest because the voice of the Caribbean is sounding, and especially in fora where the conversation is also rich. And I'm leading into the big conversations that will be happening at CARIFESTA as a coordinator of those conversations. What do you see to be the Caribbean's voice, and how do you see those conversations amplifying that voice?
So the Caribbean really needs to have a lot more cultural confidence, right? We need to respect our own voice, love our own voice, and recognize that there's a place for it on, our local stages and our world stages. And I think that is at the heart of the conversations that we're going to be having. How do we build that cultural confidence in various domains? And so that has to do with climate change and how our cultural identity reflects itself in climate change and how we bring those stories forth. And we also have to recognize that, culture is one of our richest outputs in the region. It's where we can sail on the world stage and I want to say be dominant, right? Because sometimes we can't compete on things like technology or other things that need a larger population to scale. But what we do have is our culture. And I think that's at the heart of the big conversations. I mean, we have socio-political conversations. We have what we call the transversal sectors. So how culture interacts with tourism, how it interacts with, again, climate change, education. So it is a range of big conversations that we're going to be having. And I'm really excited to be collaborating with Ambassador Kamijiong on this, where he's bringing a lot of the socio-economic and political conversations to bear. So, you know, we're talking Cuba to Haiti, but we're also talking about AI and dance. And, you know, how do we take our spiritual resonances in dance and translate them into AI? And again, that's about cultural authenticity. So this is, you know, where we're going with the big conversations.
Where we're going with the big conversations will continue right after this break. We're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
17 after 6 o'clock now. We're continuing our conversations on CARICOM as we take a look at it, not just for Barbados alone, but for the entire region, because at CARIFESTA this year, we are engaging the entire region on a number of things that attend to the region, and the region's voice needs to be amplified. And so Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Kamijiong, is with me, as well as Dr. Marielle Barrow-Megnon, who is the coordinator of those big conversations and the symposium as well. And so, Ambassador, let's put this into context, because we're looking at our conversations on CARICOM.
Well, the word that needs to go out from here to all of Barbados is that we have started the 10-day countdown to CARIFESTA. Today is what, the 12th? CARIFESTA starts on the 22nd. So we start our countdown from today. We have 10 days to go. And, you know, CARIFESTA is the Caribbean's premier arts festival. I mean, you have everything from music to dance to culinary arts to film to photography,
Theatre.
You know, sculpture, painting, theatre, you name it. But you also have talk and discussion. And this is where Marielle comes in, because Marielle has been charged with coordinating two aspects of CARIFESTA. The big conversations, and the big conversations are discussions that will take place in the community, in public spaces like Golden Square Freedom Park or the Marcus Garvey Amphitheater, that are really directed at our people, you know, very popular. And then the symposiums, which are a bit more academic,
Right.
and more have a university connection. But I was asked to collaborate with Marielle on both the big conversations and the symposium. So we are very excited because CARIFESTA, we are going to be presenting to the Barbadian people and all the visitors. There are going to be thousands and thousands of visitors from not just across the Caribbean, I would say across the world, who are going to be coming. And we are going to be discussing some very, very important and intriguing topics. And we really want to encourage the Barbadian people to come out. Don't just come out for the concerts and the dance and so forth. come out for the big conversations, because as Mariel was explaining, part of CARIFESTA really is about instilling confidence in our people, instilling clarity of vision, because at the end of the day, CARIFESTA is something that is developmental. It's about how do we, use the arts to bring our people together, to give them that vision, that inspiration, that impetus to go forward and face all of the challenges that we were speaking about in the first segment. So, having said all of that, I would really leave it to Mariel now to help us go through some of those big topics that we want teachers, public servants, ministers of religion, young people, everybody to come out and let us come together and get this and engage with each other and get this clarity of vision about who we are, our strengths, and where we are going as a Caribbean civilization.
Indeed. So, having heard all of that, Mariel, now talk to us a little bit about these conversations. I know the public spaces are everywhere, and there's a conversation every day.
There are several conversations every day, so let me emphasize that. And I really love what Ambassador said about CARIFESTA being an opportunity and a space for development. And I think this is really, really critical, and that is what these conversations are grounded in. How do we have the real discussions? And so that is from glowing up and branding beyond borders. How do we make ourselves a brand? Because, as unique as we are, sometimes we are not really willing to sell our brand to the world. And so that is a really important conversation, and we have persons joining us from Haiti and the Haitian diaspora, Marc-Alain Bukiko, Shaina Silva. We have another young lady who's a fashionista from Belize, Ronelli Requena, in that conversation. And so we're looking across borders from film and TV to fashion and, other subsectors to think about how do we brand ourselves. So I think that cross-sectoral interaction is one of the things that we want to emphasize in these big conversations. It's not just that theater stands by itself and film stands by itself, but how do we have the conversation across the board. We have power, paint, and politics, and so this I would say is Ambassador Commission's one of his interventions, and we're looking at how do artists lead the charge, especially when we're in these moments of distress and discomfort as nations, as people. How do artists give foresight and vision to do things in a new way?
Let me just stop you there. Power, paint, and politics. The role of Caribbean culture, arts, and artists in an age of disorder and neo-imperialist resurgence. And that's going to be at Golden Square Freedom Park on Tuesday, the 26th of August, starting at 4:30.
Yes.
In the afternoon.
And most of these big conversations are just about 2 hours. So you have it's time. You have good time to really engage in conversation.
You have good time, but it's also experiential.
Yes.
And so we want to talk about how that it is a grounded experience. You can come and raise your voice, but you can also come and raise a brush. And you can paint something, or you can dance, or you can express yourself using your own mediums. And I think that is really, really important, because as Caribbean people, we use our body to express ourselves. Right, our bodies. And so these are experiential conversations. It's not just about, I come and I talk. No, we can sing it, we can dance it, we can have a storytelling circle about it and interact with each other. So the audience is given place to express themselves as well and to really engage in the conversation. And I think that's really the way in which it differs from the symposium.
I think one of the things that jumped out to me was the inclusion of the Rastafari, to hear from them. Because there's segments and sectors in our community who sometimes feel big conversations for the academic alone. I know you placed it in the context, Ambassador. This one is for the people. This is for all of us in people's spaces, hearing the voices of the people. And so let's talk a little bit about that, because we don't want any sector to feel marginalized. Broadly, the space for everyone, and then specifically the Rastafari?
So the Rastafarian community has created their own way of life, and I think it's fascinating. I don't want to take the place to try and speak on their behalf because I want to learn from them. And so this is the space to come out and learn and be a part of what they have created and gain a deeper understanding of their practices, because they have created community at a different level. They have created business at a different level, and I really believe there's a lot to learn from that within the region. And you know, they've also resisted in a way that is, I think, exemplary, and that we can take something from in our own practices in our daily lives. So their conversation, I think, is going to be really, really rich, and I am personally looking forward to it because I want to know more.
Yes, yes. One of those conversations is the idea of Barbados. I loved when Prime Minister Gonzalez, at a speech a few years ago, raised that as a topic. It inspired us then, even as a choir, the Barclays Singers. We actually did a production called The Idea of Barbados. And so here it is now, it's back as one of the conversations.
Well, it's the lead-off conversation on the Saturday, the 23rd of August at Golden Square Freedom Park. And why we thought, okay, I mean, we have conversations on Cuba, we have conversations on Haiti, we have conversations on the colonial territories within the Caribbean, their decolonial mission. But we thought, hey, CARIFESTA is in Barbados. Barbados this year is commemorating the 400th anniversary of the first British landing on Barbados. It's a very important milestone. Let us use Prime Minister Gonzalez's concept of the idea of Barbados to explore this 400-year history. What does it mean, not just for Barbados, what does it mean for our Caribbean civilization? And so that is going to be the lead-off big conversation, and I want to invite everybody to come to Golden Square on the Saturday the 23rd, because you're going to hear Prime Minister Ralph Gonzalez, Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley, Sir Hilary Beckles, and Dr. June Suma, former Secretary General of the Association of Caribbean States. And they're going to be moderated by no less than the Secretary General of CARICOM, Dr. Carla Barnett. So this is going to be a very, very powerful grounding when we discuss our country, Barbados, and what it means, and what that history means for our present and our future. So we're going to share with our Caribbean brothers and sisters. And then, of course, the following day, the Sunday, the 24th, we are back again at Golden Square with Talking Cuba and Fidel. Of course, we're talking about Fidel Castro. And you know, 2026 will be Fidel's centenary, 2026. But Fidel came to Barbados on 3 official visits. In fact, Barbados is one of the countries that he perhaps visited most. So we're going to have this brilliant lineup of Cubans. Nancy Morion, Cuba's legendary female poet, the Deputy Minister of Culture, and you know, and so we're going to get a good insight into this enigmatic Caribbean country known as Cuba. And then, you know, there's several others. I can't go through them all.
No, we can't. I know, but there's a calendar of all of this on the on the website carifesta.net. 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 That's where you can go to see everything happening. And you plan yourselves accordingly, but there are conversations happening every day across the island in different places and spaces. And so it's important that we all get there. Dr. Mariella, at the end of it all, having had all the conversation in the world, what do you see happening?
I think it's really important for CARIFESTA to have a legacy. And I'm hoping that Big Conversations is a part of that legacy, and that we can take actionable outcomes from our conversations and implement them in policy, implement them, you know, in the creative sector, to professionalize our creative sector, because that is so key. So many times, you know, others come in and professionalize for us, or take, the pick,
Yes.
the pick of the crop, right? And, and make money off of it. And it's our turn. It's our turn, and we need to do this well, and we need to come together. We need to collectivize to do this across the region. So I am hoping that this becomes a platform that can extend beyond CARIFESTA and really have regional impact.
Time to raise our voices, people. Time to raise our voices, people. Time to raise our voices in conversation, big conversations, as part of CARIFESTA 2025, CARIFESTA 15. That number, yes, indeed. And so it's happening everywhere. Remember, go to the website carifesta.net and you'll see for yourself every single activity. Then you plan your life around those activities between the 22nd and the 31st. There is something for everyone at every space and every age, and so we want you to get out and explore. Let Barbados let the roads be blocked, because people are just trying to get to spaces and places indeed. Ambassador, we've got to wrap it up there, but again, thanks for joining us for our conversations on CARICOM. I know, like you, excited about what CARIFESTA brings to the region and to Barbados as well, and to our people, because people are at the center of everything we do.
I mean, if we're talking CARICOM, Caribbean Community, CARIFESTA,
It's our biggest.
University of the West Indies, West Indies Cricket, the CARIFESTA Games. These are the institutions that really make the integration meaningful at a people level.
All the people.
Yes, Barbados, this is our opportunity to shine and to interact with all of our guests who are going to be coming to Barbados. Let us take full advantage of it.
Well said. Thank you. That's Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Commichon, and his brother-in-law, Dr. Marielle Barrow-Magnon. She'll be back with us in the show a little later on to take another look at another significant component of CARIFESTA, and we can't wait to talk to her a little bit more about that in a moment. But thank you both, and we wish you well. Morning Barbados is back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
24 to the hour now. It is said to be the hidden chapter of the history of Barbados and Shelter Island and the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade. And I think for a lot of students of history, perhaps you may have heard, but for a lot of us, we have not heard of that link, the role that Barbados played in the transatlantic slave trade. There's a study on to do so, and so as there's an app for everything, there's a study for everything as well. And so the link between the UWI and the University of Massachusetts has unveiled for us now information. We're joined this morning by Dr. Henderson Carter, who is, as you know, a historian, a lecturer at the University of the West Indies, and dare I say, a great storyteller. Thank you. Good morning, sir. And you have with you from the University of Massachusetts, Dr. Nidra Lee. Good morning to you, ma'am.
Good morning to you.
Next to you is Claire Ross. Good morning, welcome. And Samantha Syed and Kristen De La Tour. To all of you, welcome to Barbados. Is this your first time to Barbados, Professor?
Yes, it is.
How does it feel?
It feels great. It feels hot, but I'm enjoying it.
That's good to hear. Dr. Carter, let's put this, I keep calling you that, but nonetheless, I say so. Talk to me a little bit about what this is, this study, and what you've been able to find.
Well, this is a study of the relationship between two plantations in Barbados, Constant Plantation and Carmichael Plantation, and an island off Long Island called Shelter Island. Incidentally, that island was bought by 4 Barbadian entrepreneurs in 1652, who bought it for 1,600 pounds of sugar. And they had a ceremony as well to mark that purchase called the Twig and Turf Ceremony, where they exchange pieces of twig and some dirt.
Wow.
In that ceremony on the 23rd of March, 1652. And because of that relationship between the Barbados plantations and the Shelter Island area, we at CAFIL are now studying that relationship. So our historians are looking at the movement of labor from Barbados and the movement of rum, sugar, and molasses from Barbados to Shelter Island. And of course, the reciprocal arrangement, where Shelter Island provides the food, the horses, the lumber, the staves that we use to build our hogsheads and barrels. They all come from Shelter Island. So we're studying that relationship. But beyond that, we are also having, as part of the project, a melon-funded project. We're having reciprocal student exchanges, where Barbadian students at the university, not only history students, but if you want to go on the trip, you got to do a history course.
Oh,
but
there's a catch to
yes,
everything.
yes. But we send 20 students every year to New York and of course Boston, so that they can observe that relationship between Barbados and New York and Boston. And of course, we bring 5 students from 4 different centers in America every year. So we have 4 from UMass Boston. We are supposed to have other students coming in from the Bard Graduate Center, from NYU, and of course persons coming from the Shelter Island and the Sylvester Manor on Shelter Island. So it's a reciprocal arrangement where UMass students are coming here and they are doing what we call a comparative study. They have their studies and they'll tell you about their studies later. But because they're studying America, they want to see what is happening on the other side, what is happening in Barbados, and to make those type of comparisons. And that is why we're here today, and that is why they're here to study Barbados.
Professor, put into context then from your end what you were studying and what you hope you could discover while you're here.
So we have actually, UMass Boston is a team of archaeologists that has conducted archaeological excavations at Sylvester Manor, which is the plantation that Dr. Carter referenced earlier. And it was a provisioning plantation from roughly 1652 to a little bit after, I would say, 1710, probably roughly? Yeah. 1710. And so our excavations, we've conducted excavations there for almost 27 years, where we've been a partner with Sylvester Manor, and a big part of what we've been trying to understand, in addition to the role of, or the development of just how slavery was used in a development of a global economy, right? One that actually connected both the United States, the Caribbean, and Europe together in the production of various crops. So a lot of our questions have been geared at not only looking at that, but trying to understand the impacts of that locally. So how did that impact local indigenous people as well? With our partnership with UWI, one of the things that we're hoping to continue to build with that is just to get a better idea of those reciprocal relationships and to understand how those activities further connected the United States, or in particular Long Island and Barbados. And one of the things that I think has been really rich about that has been the ways in which it's actually also driven it or shed attention to the role that the northern United States had in terms of having slavery that existed there. That's actually a chapter of history that gets little attention in our own history books.
Because we know the South,
yes,
but the North.
Yes.
So in your excavation, what did you discover?
So currently, we have roughly 350,000 artifacts that have been recovered from the excavations at Sylvester Manor. And one of the beautiful things is that all of those artifacts span a really long history of the manor. So it goes back from not just the arrival of Nathaniel Sylvester and his young wife at the time, Grizel, in 1652, but it actually continues to document that history into the 21st century, because the manor continues to be occupied. It's currently a nonprofit, but it's still being used for various activities. And one of the things that you'll have a chance when the students will tell you about their research is that our work is actually primarily geared at trying to now look at not just that provisioning plantation period, but what happened afterwards. So we're trying to pull that history up even into the 19th century and to begin to pay attention to what happened to the not just black, but also indigenous laborers, also maybe some free white laborers as well. What happened once we saw the formal abolition of slavery?
So Claire, in tracking what happened to those people, what have you found in your studies?
Well, so my research is mostly focused on the 19th century period of Sylvester Manor's history, so a little bit after the provisioning plantation, and we have this, and you have this super direct connection to Barbados, but I am looking at women's labor during that period.
Women's labor?
Yeah, and specifically dairying, so the process of turning milk into butter and cheese. That was traditionally like a woman's job up until like the late 19th century, and it becomes more industrialized. But I'm looking at the labor of the free black women who were there in the 19th century, because early 19th century is around the period of emancipation for New York State, and how that dairying would have big part of their lives and helped them to participate in the economy. And I have noticed in looking through documents that the women who were making cheese and butter, they would be paid often in like molasses or a rum, and so there is this continued connection to the Caribbean into the 19th century, even when we think that there's not as much anymore after the 17th. That's not true. Yeah.
What about you, Samantha? What have you discovered? I see you, Claire, you learned a lot. That was your reaction. But so, Samantha, what did you unearth?
Well, so my research focuses on the early period at the site in the 17th century when it was really functioning as a provisioning plantation for the plantation here in Barbados. And so like Claire, I'm looking at women's labor, primarily the European women's labor at this site, and I'm trying to understand through mainly documents and going back and looking very in depth into the documents how we see these women, what types of labor they're doing, and also how they're participating in different types of property ownership. And kind of in this way, I'm trying to better understand the ways that they're participating in the growth and spread of their family's economic and kin networks, which came from Barbados and then kind of spread throughout New England and also stretched to Amsterdam and England. So this very large transatlantic network of molding of economic and family relations through marriage. So yeah, I'm mainly looking at like race and gender and how these European women are reproducing ideas of social ideology and power dynamics and gendered labor. Yeah.
Samantha, it's Kristen, sorry, what about you? Are you also studying the women and how this has impacted women?
Well, kind of. I'm focusing on enslaved labor generally, so looking at women, children, men, and trying to understand how they contributed to the manor. And so we kind of understand from the documents that there was 23 individuals when Nathaniel Sylvester died. And so I'm trying to continue that research by trying to look at the multi-generations of enslaved people there and understanding how they contributed to agricultural labor. And so at that time, enslaved people were often responsible for helping rear animals, training animals, slaughtering animals, salting, smoking, preparing animals to then be shipped to places like Barbados, and then in its later history, shipping stuff more locally to New England, to New York City, areas like that. And so I'm trying to understand the continued presence of enslaved people and really map them into the landscape of understanding how documents and also through the material record, through animal bones, how we can understand how they were there, what they were doing, and changes in their lives that would have affected everyone living at the plantation.
And so, Henderson, a lot of this comes right back to Barbados again, because the people that they're trying to research were from Barbados essentially. So while here, how are we going to link what they're studying to the lived reality here?
Well, we're going to link that through a series of tours. So we're going to have the classroom in a bus and on tour. We're not going to be in a classroom, we'll be on tour, and we'll be visiting places like George Washington House, where George Washington spent 6 weeks in 1751.
To recuperate.
Yes, we'll be visiting places like Sunbury Plantation, that great house, and we'll be visiting Carmichael Plantation and Constant Plantation. So the students will get to see the great houses of Barbados, to be able to compare those great houses in Barbados with the Sylvester Manor in New York. They will get to see the sugar plantation complex, the windmills. They will get to see the making of rum. And our friend talked about molasses, how women were paid in molasses. You will get to see how that sugar was made, how molasses came out, and of course how rum was made. So basically, this is a study tour, not in the classroom, but in the field as such. And as archaeologists, they will get to participate on Wednesday in an archaeological dig at Codrington College. And as you know, Codrington College was a sugar plantation.
Yes, indeed.
Not just a theological institute, a sugar plantation. So our students, our UWI students, our donor dig, and the UMass students will get to participate in that.
Wow, this is an exciting time to be a student of history indeed. And so, with all of this said, at the end of it all, how do you see what you learn from this experience translating into your classroom studies with the students?
Well, it's actually continuing to translate right now. These are my graduate students. And so my goal is to continue continue this work and to continue to train students to look at historical documents, to work with artifacts, to even bring in hopefully oral histories, and to continue to find ways for us to look for stories that are not so well known, or to ask new questions of stories that are quite well known, and continue to apply it to the lived reality of not just sort of people of Barbados, but even, I would actually argue, even sort of people of African descent, in the diaspora.
Henderson, time has caused a lot of things to change, but there's still some things that are still true to what it is. And so how do we connect with the little we have so we can really see the extent of the story? How does that work?
Well, you see, we have in Barbados, in my view, a very rich history, but people don't see it like that. For example, coming up very shortly, we will have the unveiling of the monument at Newton Plantation, which is the only slave burial ground in a plantation complex that we have found. But a lot of people don't know that there's a burial ground there. And we need to instill in the minds of individuals that this is an important resting place for people of African descent. And there's a similar burial ground on Shelter Island. There's a burial ground for enslaved people, and there's a burial ground for Quakers. And those are the connections that I hope that the students will make, and that we will make as Barbadians. So we have, in my view, a lot of rich history, but we have to make those connections between our history and the broader American history as well.
And I hope that eventually it makes a connection with the masses of people. I know there will be some symposia coming up later on that would expose it to all of us, so that we begin to see for ourselves as humans, just humans, not history students, what is our history and the role that Barbados played in that transatlantic slave trade as well. I have to wrap. But I wish I had more time in this history class, indeed. But I want to thank you so much, as always, Henderson, for joining us. I mean, there's phenomenal work happening in the Department of History and Philosophy at the University of the West Indies, in your publications and now in your further studies. And I can't wait to see the result of this collaboration with University of Massachusetts and what you all will discover. Please tell us about your discovery. Indeed, we want to hear from your point of view as well, what you found about us and the role that we played in who you are and the people of North America as well. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
You're very welcome indeed. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affair segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor, as He did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about solar ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We have 4 minutes now to go to the hour 7, and time for me to have a little bit of fun with you. Time for you to also get on your phone to give me a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563, because I want you to unscramble some letters. Yep, they're trying to fool me too, so let's see if we can fool you. What are these words? What word can you make when you unscramble some letters? So if you're ready, folks, just show us the first word and let's see if we can get this all sorted out. 228-5562 or 63. I have no clue what that is. Do you? 228-5562 or 228-55... No, that's not it. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word can you make when you unscramble the letters you see in front of you? What is that word? 228-5562 or 63. It is baffling me. Is it baffling you? If it isn't, then you can solve it for me. 228-5562 or 228-5563. What word can you make when you set in correct order, according to you, the letters you see on your screen? They are like nothing to me. What do they mean to you? We have a call. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, Pearson.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
I am well, thank you. What are you up doing?
I'm not up yet.
Why are you still in your bed? Put your feet on the ground. Get moving, girl. Time waits for no man or woman.
I got up already and I got back in.
And you went back down? Shame on you. Shame on you.
Nah, no shame on me.
All right. So what word do you think it is?
Cricket.
I beg your pardon?
Cricket.
Why? Spell cricket for me. Spell
C-R-I-C-K-E-T.
C-R-I-C-K-E-T?
Yes.
And you're sure you have all of the letters you see on your screen? Absolutely certain?
Yes, please.
How long did it take you to come up with a word like cricket?
Not very long.
Well, you saw it right away?
Yeah.
You looked at those words and letters and you came up with cricket?
Yes, please.
You did not see rice, T-C-K? Answer my question.
Yeah, I can see that.
You didn't see ketchup?
Ketchup? No. You didn't see any U's or A's in there?
I don't know. You tell me what you see. But you're right, though, cricket, okay?
Yes, please.
Well done, madam. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much, indeed. Can we share another one? Do we have time to share another one? I can't see the time from here. Right, let's see. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Look at this one now. Look at this one. Can you figure this one out? Even my guests who are here with me are trying to figure it out between themselves. Can you figure this one? There's a new set of letters on your screen, folks. New set of letters. Can you figure out what word this is? 228-5562, 228-5563. Even I can work this one out at first glance. I think I have it. I think I have it. But do you? 228-5562 or 228-5563. It is simple. Good morning. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. How do you do?
I'm good.
Oh, good to hear. Who's calling?
That's
What's your name? What's your name?
Claudette.
Claudette.
Yes, please.
All right, Claudette, where are you watching from?
St. Philip.
Claudette of St. Philip. Claudette of St. Philip, do you think you know this word?
I don't.
Take your time. Say it again.
I would try.
She what? Go ahead, Claudette. Tell me what word you think it is.
Cricket.
Oh, you have the other network, Claudette. No. Move, Claudette. No, you can't do that. You are slow. Take word from what I'm saying here. You are slow, Claudette. If you use the other network, you're going to be delayed. So we've changed the word since then, Claudette. I'm so sorry, but that's not what I have on my screen at the moment. So hint to the wise, consider taking our service. That way you stay in step and in time with us. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Come, talk to me. What word do you think this is? What word do you think it is? Look at it. Set it into order and then tell me the word you think that it is. Morning. Hello.
Good morning, Pearson. Monica here.
Hey, Monica. How are you today?
I'm good, and you?
Well, thanks. Did you sleep well?
Of course.
Did you wake on time?
Even before the time I knew to get up.
What time did you get up today?
I got up before 5.
And what time do you usually wake up?
Sometimes after.
What time, Monica? After is not on the clock.
After 5.
Pardon me?
About 5:15.
About 5:15 or thereabouts. Yeah. All right, Monica. I would not stress you out this wonderful Tuesday morning. What's the answer?
As usual, community.
Sure?
Yes, please.
Positive?
Of course.
No other word do you see?
Nope.
You don't see immunity?
I could put other words in there to get other words.
Do you see immunity, Monica?
I see a community.
Well done, Monica. Thank you so much. You're right.
You have a good day.
You too. Thank you so much indeed. All right. It's just after 7. Just after 7. I'll take a break here. I'll come back with you on the news.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's look at news now. While complying with the new vehicle window tinting regulations will cost an average of a few $100s, for the owners of some high-end vehicle, the payout skyrockets to several thousand. That's according to former president of the Barbados Automobile Dealers Association, Mark Hamilton. He explains that in some of those vehicles, the windows are factory tinted with the tint actually built into the glass. That means changing any window deemed to be too heavily tinted will involve removing the glass altogether. He adds that this will not only be expensive, but will also depend on the availability of the replacement.
Glass is a delicate item. It's generally shipped, in very large boxes, which are padded and so on to ensure the glass gets from one location next in one piece. It's often shipped by sea in order to get the cost down, and therefore there's a significant timeline generally speaking, between order and availability in Barbados. So there are several issues which I believe that the powers that be will have to examine as they roll out this new TINT legislation, some of which may not have been considered at the time.
Mr. Hamilton says the Dealers Association has been paying close attention to the public debate on the legislation, and he believes the authorities understand that there may be cases where they may have to re-examine components of the TINT law and modify it accordingly.
I can't speak with absolute authority on it, but I mean a windscreen can run anywhere between, $12 to $3,000 or $4,000, depending on $1,200 to $3,000 or $4,000, depending on the size of the windscreen, the type of the windscreen. The windscreens now come with a lot of extra technology in them to do with lane, changing, and with the cameras and the sensors, and there's a lot of additional equipment, additional technology. It's not just a piece of glass like the old days. So, there's several hurdles to overcome. And again, as I said, one of those will be potentially the timing of this and the cost.
Free tinting testing continues today. 4 artists have been awarded unrestricted grants of $20,000 each, along with an additional $5,000 travel grant. Anna Gibson, Simone Asia, Russell Watson and Ronald Williams are recipients of the Fresh Milk Art Platform Awards for the 4 Barbadian-based visual art fellowships, with support from the Clara Lionel Foundation. They've received the awards for demonstrating commitment to their practices, working across painting, sculpture, drawing, moving image and digital media. Each fellow will benefit from sustained support during a 10-month program from September this year until June next year, culminating with an exhibition curated by Dr. Natalie Maguire. Fresh Milk's founding director, Annalie Davis, says it's a privilege to work closely with the Clara Lionel Foundation to offer the unprecedented level of economic support to the local visual arts sector.
So at the end of the 10 months, we will then be showcasing what has come out of their fellowship. So that's a very tangible outcome. Also investing in the opportunity to travel. So seeing how that will influence their broadened network and increase visibility. And there's going to be production of writing, so greater awareness of the work that they're doing. And the need to partner with spaces like Clara Lionel, and hopefully this will provoke other kinds of conversations that will happen with representatives from the Ministries of Culture or the Department of Culture and other artists that are working locally.
Head of Programs and Impact at the Clara Lionel Foundation, Amina Doherty, says they're pleased to support the island's arts and culture industry.
This whole initiative is not something that we have done alone. We've been in partnership with the Andrew Mellon Foundation, which is the largest funder of the arts in the United States, and more specifically their Humanities in Place program. And so this idea of that Annalie talked about, seeing artists as knowledge producers, meant a lot to us for the reasons for supporting this work. But also a big part of the way that CLF is thinking about why and how we support arts and creative production is this idea of sustainability. Both financial sustainability, but also this idea that we are, as Annalie said, we are dealing with some of the most complex issues of our time.
A transition program with the bold name Bridge to the World is rewriting the future for at-risk boys in Barbados. That program, executed by MENS, was designed to assist those between the ages of 15 and 20 who have exited the educational system without formal qualification. President of MENS, Fabian Sargent, says the initiative was born out of research from the Criminal Justice Unit, revealing the troubling reality that too many young men are facing. Speaking during the transition ceremony, where the youth received awards and certificates, he said during the past 3 months, the participants were given the tools to change their lives.
Bridge to the World, coming out of that research, I thought it necessary, along with our team, to pull together this project that bridges the gap between these boys leaving school or when they leave school and the professional world. There's that gap where these boys are home doing nothing. Parents have to go out to work. The block seems more attractive. Negativity, guns, drugs, all of these things.
Says the idea is to help them face their goals and face the world of work.
At this point in time, we're in conversation with the Ministry of Youth through their programs there, where they can dovetail into those programs. And for those boys that will be interested in entrepreneurship, try to get them some small grants that they can then get further support and that they can move on into the world. You know, this would not have been possible without the Human Development Grant through the Job Start Plus program. And I really want to thank them for really assisting us.
Sports now, a wish list to bring West Indies cricket out of the current state of emergency and inefficiency has been formulated from out of the recent two-day summit in Trinidad and Tobago. That meeting, called by Cricket West Indies President Dr. Kishore Shallow, brought together the Cricket Strategy and Officiating Committee, along with former and present West Indies players and other stakeholders to help implement immediate structural reform. Chief Executive Officer of Cricket West Indies, Chris Daring, estimated that about 100 issues were identified at that meeting. He listed some of the top-tier items.
Amongst the top 5 facilities for the development of all cricketers is, as Miles says, it's systemic. So, but we're talking about things like facilities at every level for the development of all cricketers, proper practice pitches across the region, the quality of all domestic tournaments would have been highlighted. There's definitely a skills deficiency at various levels that are, really don't get highlighted until they reach international level, and then you see the glaring deficiencies vis-a-vis our international counterparts, which again is systemic because it's very difficult, as the batting coach pointed out today, it's very difficult to change habits when you're getting somebody who has made so many runs at regional level, but clearly have deficiencies when it comes to the international level. It's very hard to change them in just a couple of weeks, or especially during a series. So it's a systemic issue, so we have to try and address the issues that we're facing much earlier from a technical development perspective. There are issues surrounding strength and conditioning, which again points back to potentially facilities that are available to our youngsters and our emerging players, air teams, etc. So those would be some of the highlights which would have been pointed out.
And that's our look at news until now. More news here on TV8 coming up at 12 noon. Morning Barbados is back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons which will surprise many is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
Yeah, always there when you need us most.
Reduce roof damage to your home or property by installing hurricane roof straps or additional clips to fasten your roof to the frame structure. This precautionary measure works alongside having an ICBL Easy Home Insurance Plan. This tip is brought to you with the kind compliments of ICBL. For more information on available policies, call 434-6000.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
7:15. Today is International Youth Day, and so the youth advocates of the Barbados Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados are with us because they're engaged in a campaign to remind us of how critical it is that we pay attention to childhood obesity. Joining me to talk a little bit more about what they've been up to is Joshua Grant Desir, who is a medical student at UWI, but also one of the advocates, and with him another medical student in Chad Ford and another youth advocate. Gentlemen, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us this morning. What concerns you, Joshua, about how the society responds to its health and particularly the health of our children?
I think what is most concerning to me is the lack of movement in terms of how rapidly we're responding to the crisis that we currently have. You know, we can always draw on the pandemic that we recently survived in terms of COVID-19 and the rapid response the world had. But now when we look at Barbados and certainly the region, we have this pandemic of non-communicable diseases, this epidemic of non-communicable diseases, especially, and we're seeing in our children have many of the risk factors that will later promote the development of these non-communicable diseases later in their life. And our response to it as a society, I think, concerns me in terms of how seriously we're taking it overall at all levels.
And so, Chad, I know from the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados perspective, they've been piloting the whole question of front of label packaging and a whole lot more. What else do you think we still need to be able to do as a society to tackle his concerns?
Thank you, Pearson. I think as a society, we need to come together to have these uncomfortable discussions. Most of the time when we have these activities or these initiatives, as of today, being International Youth Day and our Step Up Challenge, when we have these discussions, we tend to shy away from the after the event. So we're so practical in the right now, and we don't look towards the future. So I think what we can do is have action plans that we can come away from and always check back in so that we can see how far we have come, where we need to go, because this change can't happen right away. It is a step to step, and just like our step up challenge is a step-to-step process towards the end goal, and the end goal is healthier futures, brighter futures for our young people. And I think we need to have these more uncomfortable discussions at the forefront.
Is your voice being raised at the table at the Heart and Stroke Foundation so that you can see the change you're looking for?
Yes, I believe it is being raised, because that's why we're here today, to bring about awareness. We met with some of the ministers. We met with Minister Chad Blackman, we met with Minister Davison Ishmael, and we had those uncomfortable conversations and the way forward as to how our young people see health and what needs to be done, and the impact the policymakers do have, that we need to rally around together, because it's not just a one-man show. It's not just the youth advocates. We have the message, but we also want to share that message with others, and I believe that we are being heard.
Joshua, one of those programs that you suggested, I suppose, to the team at the Heart and Stroke Foundation is the Step Up Challenge, which ends today. Talk to me a little bit about the mechanics to that, and how did you see the participation?
So the Step Up Challenge was conceptualized by the outreach team of the youth subcommittee of the Heart and Stroke Foundation Childhood Obesity Prevention Coalition. And it was supposed to not just promote us stepping up to the challenge of tackling the problem that we see, but also promoting advocacy. And the practical component was us actually stepping up, as in actually getting in steps. For the practical component, what we did is that we used an app called the Step Up app that you would be able to link to your cellular phone, or to, if you have a watch, a smart watch that counts your steps. We created 2 groups, one for males, one for females, and over the last week or so, five days, you joined the group and you just walked, and it basically tallied your steps every single day. You were able to see the leaderboards, and it really promoted persons walking and getting in those steps. I know specifically one day, around 2 days ago, we had one person that actually got in over 25,000 steps that specific day, and they were closely followed by other persons having over 17,000 steps, encouraging some of the younger persons in Barbados to actually hike and take some walks around their neighborhood.
I used to struggle with 6,000. You make me feel so slow when you call those numbers, indeed. And so you're seeing success, and you're hoping that translates in now to a movement, indeed, among young people as well. You said you had it separated into men and women. Who were the high achievers, men or the women?
The males. The males.
That's good to hear. Just checking. And so, Chad, you were talking about follow-ups. It's all well and good to have one thing, but it doesn't end there.
Yes.
What comes next?
Okay, so similarly to Joshua's point about the Step Up Challenge, when we sat down to actually planned out what we want to do as youth, since it ends today, that doesn't mean that the challenge has to end today. We are going to have these discussions. Our minister, Minister Chad Blackman, he was also involved, and I believe that video can be shown and seen on our Instagram page about his involvement in advocacy and his champion among young people and the school nutrition and policy program. I believe that when we came up with this Step to Challenge, it was more than just a movement of stepping up and just one step, but I believe it was something more than just walking or running. It was about health, stepping up for health, stepping up for our family, stepping up for our children, stepping up for our nation. And we came up with the same acronym, Step Up. And what that entails is that the S stands for Strive for Movement, the T stands for Thrive for nutrition, the E, empowered families, the P, protecting our children, the U is uniting our communities, and the P is progress for healthier and nutrition in our country and by extension our world. And I believe having these follow-up, these discussions, these check-ins, these forums will help to see where we are at and what else needs to be done. So more check-ins, I would say, can go a long way.
You know, Joshua, we could walk till we're tired, blue in the face, or we can choose to make lifestyle changes. I want to look at the school's nutrition policy for just a moment, how this links to that.
So the school's nutrition policy is one component. Research has shown us, and we have recognized that the prevention of non-communicable diseases isn't just one specific aspect, but it's multifaceted in terms of your nutrition and also your exercise levels. So the school's nutrition policy specifically speaks about dieting and nutrition in schools, and it outlines what should and should not be eaten in schools. We thank the government over the past year. We've been able to actually roll out the school nutrition policy. Now we're looking at fully implementing it, because yes, we have made these changes, but are we getting all of the schools to follow these changes? The other concern that we have is then marketing around schools, because we still have in Barbados a very high level of marketing of unhealthy products to school children or within school activities. And so while this side speaks, well, the specific practical part spoke about actually stepping up in terms of walking, the beyond that, as Chad was saying, is us continuing that advocacy work to step up to the challenge and brave the waters that we are now going to step into as we continue to fight for better futures for our children.
That is well put, and these are not choppy waters. These are waters we can wade through, but nonetheless, it starts with each of us today making a very conscious effort to do more to get exercise a whole lot more, to watch our diets, and to help our children understand the reason why when we say no to that and yes to this, it is for their benefit. I know sometimes you have to push back from children. You will have to push back from children. We know this. But nonetheless, over time they will grow to appreciate that little moment in time that you spent reminding them about why healthy choices are absolutely critical. These two young faces are part of the faces of the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados. These are young men. Today is International Youth Day, and so they have risen, they've stepped up to remind you why we also as a nation need to step up and protect our children, because we know they deserve better. That's absolutely important. So protect ourselves, protect our children, and we'll have a healthier nation. Gentlemen, thank you. Wish you well with all your future encounters and endeavors. And of course, feel free to come back anytime you're ready to talk more about the youth perspective to health and wellness from the Heart and Stroke Foundation.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Joshua Grant Desire and Chad Ford, two youth advocates from the Heart and Stroke Foundation, indeed. And so we're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely, and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
All right, reset your minds. We're back to CARIFESTA. We're back talking about CARIFESTA 15, which, as you know, starts the 22nd and runs until the 31st. I think you all know this by now because it's like a recitation, and surely because of our repetition of it, you get it. Remember, go to carifesta.net to see the whole slate of activities that are on island all throughout those 10 days. It's going to be phenomenal. There are delegations coming from everywhere across the region and beyond, and there are all sorts of different expressions with which you can engage. One of those is those big discussions. Dr. Marielle is back with us indeed, and so Dr. Marielle, I know the symposium is also a part of those big conversations. Talk to me about the focus of the symposium.
So the symposium falls under the same theme as the big conversations, and that's how we link them. And the theme is architecture of innovation, identity, cultural resilience, and sustainability. And so we're looking at the gamut of, the arts and synesthesia, heritage, how the art forms blend and merge and fuse, to ideas of cultural diplomacy, praxis, intellectual property. It's a wide range of issues that we have to discuss that help to form the architecture for the ecosystem for the creative industries. And so that's the approach that we're taking, and we have such an exciting lineup of speakers.
Really, who's coming?
So Dr. Keith Nurse is one of our keynote speakers, as well as Temwa Gondwe, who is from the Afro-Exim Bank, and he will be talking about reconnecting trade routes between Africa and the Caribbean. So, we have 3 keynotes for the symposium, and then we have about 6 to 7 plenary panels. So, and this is in addition to open panels that came through the open call. So it is really a full lineup.
It sounds really good. I mean, when we talked earlier in the earlier segment, we talked about leveraging our culture.
Yes.
And recognize that our culture has value. And that value could either be nominal or not. And so how do we begin then to have those discussions that we were talking about? How do we innovate to the point where we can now attract not just attention, but real returns for our artists? And I think oftentimes our artists have been begging for this. And so the symposium is open. Is it open not just to artists, but also to
everyone.
academics.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we are taking the approach of intellectual rigor, of course, but what we want to do is foreground our artists and really look at the intrinsic value of the arts, because you have to start there, right? You can't build on something that doesn't have a firm foundation. And so we're going back to and celebrating Earl Lovelace, right? It is his 90th birthday.
Yes.
And that is, you know, such a phenomenal opportunity for us to celebrate in this CARIFESTA. And, you know, we're starting from there, and then we're building on, okay, what is the infrastructure for the industry that we need? So, you know, we have a panel on creative firewalls looking at technology and how we build the industry through technology in meaningful ways, right? And so that includes not only using the technology just for commerce, but using it in the art forms as well. So there's a whole range of learning that you can have, and interaction, and really some of the best minds of the region and beyond.
When is it?
It is the 25th to the 26th. And it will be taking place at UE, who is our partner, the University of the West Indies.
The when, the where, go ahead.
Yes. And we also are partnering with two other fora, two other partners. So we are partnering with the Barbados National Art Gallery and having a full day of visual arts discussions on the 24th, and that will be at the museum. And then on the 28th, we're partnering with the Prime Minister's office to do a whole section on cultural policy. So we're covering everything that needs to be covered in this.
Do we just show up, or do we register?
You do have to register, and registration will be open on carifesta.net. Of course, you know, there will be online opportunities as well, but we do want to see the audience in there in front of us. So we really encourage persons to come out and again, you know, speak to us, speak with us. It's not just about listening.
And so it's open now to everybody. And are there key segments of the cultural arena that you would want to show up for sure?
You know, because we have such a broad cross-section, I think there's something for everyone. So we have a panel on unlocking distribution for film. We have one on fashion. We have one on the legacy and dance as vanguard, you know, the vanguard dancers in our region. So we have persons speaking on Rex Nettleford and Dr. Lantoinette Steins, and, you know, the persons who have really curated and created and choreographed our culture in ways that in ways that are true to ourselves.
I would hope that even us in media see ourselves necessary to be at this symposium.
Absolutely.
Simply because it's an ecosystem from creation to distribution to acceptance. All of us along that chain need to be a part of it and lend our voices to the discussion, to hear from others as well, and to see how we can leverage our commonalities as well and our differences. I think the differences also make us spicy and unique. Indeed.
Absolutely.
So it's from give us the dates again.
The 25th to the 26th at the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill. And then on the 24th at the museum, and the 28th at Hilton.
Right. So in different places as well, but nonetheless, carifesta.net is where you could go to see just where those symposia will be. Indeed. And so experts in their respective fields will be there presenting, but they want to hear from you because there are opportunities for us to break out and to talk.
Absolutely.
And to share.
There are round tables, and, you know, we also have to respect that the youth, right, and succession planning is a key part of this. And this is your opportunity to network with those leaders so that you can be part of their succession plan.
Yeah. And so for those of you watching overseas and you're making your bookings right now, just be sure, check carifesta.net and see where you ought to be, indeed. And so we want to see this as a rubbing of shoulders of sort, a coming together of people to look at culture seriously. And not see it, I think, and a lot of times us as the consumers see it as just a fun thing. It's just a little thing that we do. We clap and we enjoy. We go home, we had a good time, we sweated, and now we've had our fill. But it is actually a business and an industry, and that is part of the focus of the symposium.
Absolutely, and it is one of the highest growing sectors in the world. It contributes, you know, 3% and upwards of GDP in some countries. And for our region, that means that's immense. Right, especially because of our cultural output. And if we think of Carnival and the carnivals that have been spurned and spawned across the world from Caribbean carnivals, we recognize just how, you know, the gravitas of what we're talking about that we don't take advantage of. Where's our IP for, you know, our various cultural products? these are the questions that we're going to be raising and really taking a serious look at.
I mean, we've only scratched the surface, really, because just yesterday I had a meeting with some people and we were talking about a performance, and this performance was going to be using music, and immediately they thought, cost cap, the rights. We can't infringe the rights. We've got to make sure we have the rights. That conversation has grown up enough now that people immediately get that you may be infringing on someone's property and therefore you need to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And so this symposium will remind us not just of the IP alone, but all of the other ways in which we can bastardize someone else's right and have a greater sensitivity for what it is that we do and what other people do.
Yes, and that respect is critical. You see, just today I was reading in the news someone, who took a design from an indigenous sandal and produced it on the world stage and did not recognize that he was lifting someone else's IP. And so these considerations we have to bring to the region because, of course, the quality of our work is so intricate and so beautiful. And people do want it, right? So how do we protect that? How do we protect that? And that is a great, it's a good question.
I remember well, there was a story here of a young lady who did crochet work. She gifted to Rihanna or to someone one of her work, piece of her work, and the next day she saw someone else copying and using it and publishing. I remember that became a very big story. So you're right. We have to really look again because there's a desire, a demand for what we have. And how do we then protect our own property? And to see that everything we do has a value, and therefore we need to be able to protect it indeed. But ignorance is no excuse anymore because you now have a symposium to teach you, and you now know that it is happening during CARIFESTA 2025, CARIFESTA 15. And so go to carifesta.net to see when it is, where it is, register to be a part of each of the sessions. And I think it's important. Don't cherry pick to the point where you miss something important. Try to show up for all of them. Let's fill the room. Let's fill the room because we have a keen interest. The people who are coming to Barbados will be in that room. You better believe it. I don't want Barbadians to miss this opportunity as well, thinking, oh, well, that's just another thing happening. It's not just another thing happening. It's a big thing happening, and it's an important thing happening that we need to show up for. It's happening again, the dates?
The 25th and 26th at the University of the West Indies, and the 24th at the museum, and then again at the 28th at Hilton Hotel.
Yep, and so it's important enough to be there. Dr. Marielle, I know you have other engagements, but it was wonderful having you spend the time with us this morning. And I'm excited by your ability to draw us into these big conversations that are happening. There are a series of conversations. There's a conversation or conversations every single day for CARIFESTA from the 23rd right down to the end. And so we want you to engage in all of them, or as many of them as you possibly can. I know your time is critical to you, and so because we know of that, they're staggered for just about 2 hours each. You can spend 2 hours, can't you? You go to the mall and you spend more than 2 hours. And so let's do this, everybody, for the big conversations right through, but spend time also for the symposium, which is coming up, and there are a number of them. And we want you to go on to carifesta.net to know more, to register, and show up. I wish you well all. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's been a pleasure, Person. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. We're coming back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
forward.
Good morning. Good morning to you.
21 minutes now to go to the top of the hour. I get excited when we talk the season of emancipation. I like to talk to this man, Rodney Grant. He is brilliant. He's a program advisor in the Office of Reparations in the Prime Minister's Office. And Rodney, good to see you yet again, my brother.
Same here, Pearson.
All right, because there's a documentary coming up.
Yes,
and as I
sir.
was saying to you just now, I love the title.
Yes,
Spirit and Struggle. African Faiths and the Soul of Barbados. Why this documentary?
Well, we felt that this was important at this time as we move from colonization through independence into a Republican country. And, you know, we started this discussion, and we meaning myself and Michelle Springer, who's the researcher at NCF, when I was the director for the National Intangible Cultural Heritage Committee. And, you know, we got the opportunity now at this time, which I think is so important because we are still in the season of emancipation, and we're also into CARIFESTA 15. So this is an important time for us in terms of this particular work. And it chronicles the journey of two important faith-based organizations, Afrocentric faith-based organizations in Barbados, particularly the Spiritual Baptists, which emerged in the 1950s, but which became very prominent after Archbishop Williams came back from Trinidad in 1957. And also the Rastafari movement, which emerged in the 70s, but also which gained prominence after Iko Tafari brought the elder Rasbarnagis back from Jamaica in 1975. So ironically, they're celebrating 50 years this year as well. So we felt it was important to focus on these two faiths and the journey they have made, one coming out of pre-independence and one post-independence, and the struggles they would have endured coming through those very trying times coming out of colonization, trying to establish themselves and fighting the norms that would have existed post-colonialism. And, you know, in the documentary, it tells some very striking and you know, some very striking stories. Particularly, there's some elders who spoke about the trials that the early elders in the Spiritual Baptists would have gone through. And particularly, you know, in those times, they would have gone to the old bus terminal, and it wasn't what it was now. You know, it was very open air bus stand. And, you know, they spoke of being stoned. And, you know, they had to, when they're going to the bus stand, they had to take their head ties off, because people would drag them off their heads. And one elder also spoke at a time that a man threw a chisel at Archbishop Granville's head, and he barely moved and ducked to, you know. So, and then in speaking to the Rastafari brethren as well, they tell some very telling stories of being, you know, victimized and brutalized. You know, they would just walk down the street and the police would just drag them into the station and charge them for nothing. So these are our own people. And this is what colonialism taught us. It taught us to abuse our own people, to victimize them, to hate our own. And so we felt this is time right now to be able to bring this particular documentary to the forefront, so that, you know, it encourages debate about what it is that we must look to in terms of crafting a new identity as a people moving forward, as we try to still understand what republicanism means to us. You know, it is important for us in the concept of republicanism to craft a new national identity. And embedded in this is this intersectoral discussion of colonialism, republicanism, reparations, republicanism. What does it mean? What's the intersection between all of that? And in between that is our own faith, what it is that we believe in. And, you know, I remember well when I was part of the National Commission on Law and Order, me and a very prominent newspaper personality had a very interesting debate, and, you know, at the time he was saying that, you know, when the children go to prayers at school, they must, you know, it must be Christian, it must be Christianity, and it can't be anything else. I remember we had a fierce debate about this. He said, but, you know, you got to accept Like there are other children, with other faiths. We have Muslim children who go to school. We have Rastafarian children in the schools. And so how can you just dismiss them? But he was adamant, this is a Christian society. And I always say, we have to be far more tolerant as we build out this society. And we have to be tolerant and recognize, because these are the things that cause significant discernment and disruption of our society.
Indeed.
And these are the things that cause friction. And unless we accept that there are people who have an inclination to other things, then we will continue to perpetuate these cultural, what I call cultural racism, forms of cultural racism against our own people, and we just can't continue like this.
As I'm listening to you, I'm remembering the fact that we're marking 400 years of the landing of the British here, and they brought the European religions to us.
Yes.
And so that struggle for spirit has also been very rife from even then. How the soul of the people was changed or was made to change as a consequence of that domination. And so while some might look and say, there's just birthing pains, you're growing up, as you grow up, you get a little ache of pain, you will go. But for how much longer must we remain infantile? At what point do we become a teenager? And begin to take charge of our destiny as well. And you're right, for it to happen now is part of that movement that says, we're republic now. We're standing up as strong men.
It must mean something. It must mean something because colonialism meant something to the people who were in charge. Independence meant something to the people who were part of that process. And then we are in this time now. Republicanism must mean something to us, and we must begin to reshape what that something is, and we must reshape it in our own narrative, and we're not in a narrative that is given to us. We are no longer colonial territory, and I'm sorry for those people who still want to hold on to those narratives. I'm sorry for them, but we can't continue to hold on to these things. We must begin to reshape the country, reshape our nation in a way that we truly celebrate the freedom that we say we have.
And in understanding each other, we begin to reshape that narrative as well. Because when I listen to the stories told by you just now about how they treated the early spiritual Baptist efforts and the Rastafari, and that's because we created narratives around them. And so we have to repaint their image so that we have a greater appreciation of society. So pulling together this documentary now, talk to me about the team that would have come together, because this sounds very in-depth to unearth all of this.
It is. So for sure, it is a collab between the National Cultural Foundation and the Office for Reparations and Economic Enfranchisement in the Prime Minister's Office. The producer and the writer and the researcher was Michelle Springer, with support from Dr. Derek Murray. He was one of the researchers as well. There were several people that were part of I think Rivellino was the Fleming production videography team. There were several people that were part of the interviewing process. Dr. Amawale Elson, he used to work at the Nation back in the day, and he was also early Spiritual Baptist member. Dr. Canon Titus, he was Noel Titus. He was one in the interviewers. The Attorney General had his say as well. The Honorable Dale Marshall, because the issue of the marijuana licenses is still a big issue, and that is being looked at as well in the documentary. And members of the Rastafarian and Spiritual Baptist community.
Is the hope that this becomes a part of into our classrooms, so that we begin, again, I'm talking about the indoctrination one more time, the fact that we're beginning to know as a people open up to accepting who we are. Can we teach with this?
Well, two things. We're gonna launch it, and I must say this, on August the 29th within CARIFESTA at the ECBCI up at UWI. At the time, I don't know yet, but we're going to launch it on the 29th for sure. The other thing is that because the documentary represents for us an important part of the reparations process in terms of repair, self-healing, for sure, after the launch, I see it, and I agree with you, that this is an important teaching tool that not only children in schools, but communities, faith-based organizations, community organizations. This is something that, that all of Barbados should see, because as I said, it begins to answer, it helps you to answer yourself important questions, to reshape your thinking, to reshape your perspective. And that for me, is particularly important to reshape your perspective of what you thought about the spiritual Baptists, what you thought about the Rastafarian people. I know what is important is that look at all of the important positive legacies that they would have brought. You know, when you look at the Rastafari faith, they encouraged us in terms of small business. They were some of the early member around the minivan, selling the nuts and encouraging people to grow their own food, the natural here. You know, everybody now is in the vegetarian shops eating item food or natural food. And even in terms of the spiritual Baptist people, they, you know, Granville stood fast to his faith. And he taught his people integrity and resilience, you know, to hold firm to what you believe in. So built into the flame is these profound things that helps us to reshape who we are, that resilience, to stay firm to our identity, the things we believe in, the things that make us who we are, that things of self-reliance. And I mean, there's so many things shaped into this. So it begins, wrapped up in it is the beginning of the reparatory process in terms of reparations. Who we are. And for us, reparations, we want to say out front, the economic thing is not the priority, it's the self-repair. Because if we continue, Pearson, to treat one another bad, to treat each other bad, we can get as much money as we want. It does not change anything.
That's right, that's right.
It has to begin with how we treat each other.
And as I was listening to you as well, you know, we oftentimes look for heroes and we shape them in different narratives. But here it is, Granville Williams. Members of the rest, Eichel Tafari, who are also strong characters within our lifetime, our context, who we know have to place into their true place in history. And this documentary gives us that opportunity again to see the people, the movers and the shakers, who are not necessarily in politics, but who are in society, who are making difference in their work as well.
Ordinary Barbadian people.
Ordinary Barbadians.
And look
following the call.
And look at what they did, even in terms of their inclusion in the Crop Over Festival.
Exactly.
They're an important feature to that. And, you know, and we can't negate the contribution that the spiritual Baptist faith would have made to this country, and that the members of the Rastafari movement would have made to Barbados. For sure. We have to look at the positives, so that I say it helps us to reshape our thinking and the narrative.
Nobody's perfect, but their story, their contribution is outstanding indeed, and we can't deny it. And so the documentary is called Spirit and Struggle, African Faiths and the Soul of Barbados. And so, have we lost our soul? Can we recapture that soul that we've talked about? And how have we been able, over time, you know, with rubbing shoulder to shoulder, we've been able to change, and what that change looks like? Are we comfortable with what we see? Are we comfortable with the skin in which we live? And the documentary takes us right back to checking ourselves yet again through the contribution of others as well. And so it's going to be launched on the 29th of August at the CBC Center for Creative Imagination. And then thereafter, we're hoping we all get to consume it indeed. And so to be a part of the launch, is this a closed launch?
No, it's open to the general public. We hope that, you know, we can fill the ACBCI. And hopefully, you know, if you can't get inside, we can put some screens on the outside. And so we encourage as much Barbadian people, for sure, members of the Rastafari faith, members of the spiritual Baptist faith, members of the other Christian and the other religious bodies in Barbados, and then all of Barbados to come out and be part of the launch on August the 29th, ECBCI.
Do you have a time?
No, we don't have a time as yet.
Time to come.
Yeah, time to come. Time to come.
In time to
but
come.
You look out for it on the CARIFESTA pages for sure. And on IG and Culture at Culture Barbados.
For sure. This is a documentary I want to see. You better believe it. And so I'm looking forward to this as well. I hope you're feeling the same way as well. Spirit and Struggle, African Faiths and the Soul of Barbados. It's an important documentary not to be missed. Thank you so much, Rodney, as always.
Thank you as well, Spirit.
You're very welcome indeed. We're coming back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities only on CBC TV8 every Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about solar ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons which will surprise many is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about solar ray, microbiome, probiotics, and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And so that's it for today, everyone. We thank you for staying with us. Indeed, we look forward to seeing you tomorrow if it be the will of the Lord. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados.